So my name is Kirk Marley of Dovetail Planning, and I've had, some very interesting, maybe even hilarious experiences in my career of 32 years. And I did actually I've paid 66 death claims and have had one that was denied. So, if you speak to a normal insurance agent, they may have paid 2 or 3 death claims. But I don't know if I've ever met anyone else who's had one declined, but I'll tell you the story. And I'm not going to use real names. But I was referred into this situation where there was 2 people, one who set up a trust, and that trust purchased, the trustee of that trust purchased some life insurance on the other person. And, as part of my normal spiel and normal education of my clients, I talk to them about a contestability, which is generally 2 years, which means that if you pass away inside the first 2 years, the company has the right to open up the file and look for any material misstatement or omission that would have impacted underwriting and possibly, I guess the long and short of it is fraud, some type of a inducement to have them offer insurance to someone who otherwise would qualify for a lesser rate or a lesser value or not insurance at all. So anyway, so this person, we wrote the $5 million of insurance on this person. We had a great time writing it. Person was very outgoing. We had fun. But trustee called me about a year and a half later and said that this person had died and wanted to file a death claim. And I thought it was odd. It just didn't sit well with me. I mean, I was sad, but I sort of didn't believe it. But anyway, so we filed the death claim, and usually it takes 30 to 45 days all in to get that payment made. So the trustee called me about 2 months later and said, "Hey, we haven't received that payment." I said, "Huh." I was actually very surprised because it's had paid, probably had 40 claims by that time. And so I said, "I'll get to the bottom of it." I called the company. I said, "Well, so what's going on with this claim? Why haven't we paid it?" They said, "Well, he passed away during the contestability period." I said, "Well, yeah, but I took the application and I think he was being honest." And they said, "Well, he filled out the financial form." I said, "Okay." He put down that he was had this certain level of profession. He did not. I said, "Okay." And they said also that he had a certain amount of net worth. He did not. Okay. And he also said he made a certain amount of income, I think 250, and he made 90. I said, "Okay." So he did not qualify for the $5 million. I said, "Well, okay, then what you would do is you'd refund him reduce the death benefit down to what he would have qualified for, refund the premium that was over and above buying the excess insurance, and then pay the death claim, right?" They said, "Yeah, normally." I said, "Well, then what's the problem?" I said, "Well, because it was in the contestability period and because he died in another country, we thought, and because it was $5 million, we thought we'd hire a private investigator to go over there and check it out. Even though that document had an apostille stamp on it. It was the highest level of certification of a document from a country you can receive. Well, they found this guy over there alive in jail. So he faked his own death. And so then I had the DA, of course, come and ask me, all these questions and want to get the files and so forth because they're going to go after the trustee and the insured for insurance fraud. And I'm not sure whatever happened with that. I think that there was a problem for those two. But the interesting thing is that if that gentleman would have potentially, if he would have waited that 2 years for the contestability period to expire, I'm not sure that death claim would not have been paid because they would not have had the right to open up that file and look for material misstatements or omissions. And it was the financial which caused them to have questions, which led them to the fictitious death claim and the death certificate. So if you ever want to have an agent who's had every weird experience, very good ones, but also some strange ones, Kirk Marley, Dovetail Planning. You should work with me.